very wet and windy day here in Seattle. So today I'm going to try to go to the Chihuly, I think that's how you pronounce it, glassing garden. Now, if you remember a couple of days ago, I didn't make it in time because they closed. So, thunderstorms. So I'm going to try and see if I can make it back there today and see if I can get in, because it should be still good in theory. Let's see about that. I love the murals and the paintings on these walls. They're so pretty. But yeah, if you're coming here this time of year, make sure you have waterproofs, your rain jacket, layers, because temperature-wise it wasn't really that bad, but there were times it did get a bit chilly and windy, so yeah, just be prepared. Be prepared. At least my shoes are getting kind of clean from all the dirt. And one yesterday from the tour, it was an awesome tour. Highly recommend it if you are only in Seattle for a few days, but you want to go to Mount Rainier and just do some hiking and get some really beautiful views of the mountain and the surrounding landscape. I'm approaching the place. Moment of truth. We'll see if I can actually use my ticket to go in or not. We shall see. At least 2 days ago, that's what the security guard said. You know, he was like, yeah, it's close, but come back like the next day. Your ticket will still be good. And I got the two, the Space Needle and the Chihuly Glassing Garden. So in theory, the time entry and the exact date was for the Space Needle, but nothing was really set or reserved for the other place. So hopefully, you know, it will, you know, still be valid all these days later. My shoes are so soaked. Alright, the entrance is just right up there. People will go around over there, so we shall see. Look at those little turtles. It's so pretty. Love the aquatic theme. like the little glass pieces that are like tentacles, you know, like jellyfish tendrils. It's so cool. It's like something you would find in like the ocean or something like that, you know, like kelp forest and whatnot. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. So glad I was able to make it because my ticket wasn't scanning at first, but then they're like, oh, well, did you already get the Space Needle? It's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, yeah, go on in. But I did explain to the security guard that, like, I was at the Space Needle 2 days ago, but, like, by the time I got here, it was closed. And she was like, oh, yeah, well, did you do the Space Needle already? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, go ahead. And the security guard, when my ticket wasn't scanning, he was like, oh, what's wrong? And I was just like, well, my ticket's not scanning, but I got it because I got it to Space Needle 2. And he was like, go around, enjoy yourselves. Oh, thankfully, I was able to get in here, and I'm so happy I did because look, it is amazing, to say the least. Hopefully the rain has let up, but from the trees, it's getting kind of wet again. My little camera.
Fahrenheit, around 1200 Celsius. That's what clear glass looks like when it's really hot. And that's also showing you what happens if you stop turning. It will just start to fall out. So keep it turning. The next step is getting ready for the bubbles. He's going to shake the glass. He's using a wooden tool right now. That's called a block. Basically a big wet wooden thing. They live in buckets of water behind the bench. Very good. So that's called the starter bubble. We can make something about this big with that. That's going to make something bigger. I don't know what it's going to make, but something maybe about this size. To make something that size, we need more glass. We're going to let this cool down, stiffen up. It's going to dip it back into the furnace, adding another layer. So glass blowing is a layer by layer process to make it larger and larger and larger. Everything you've seen here starts out just like this to make like a big float like you saw in the garden. Just a bigger pipe, bigger furnace, bigger studio, bigger team, bigger... So it's a small selection of what's available to glass artists. There's maybe like around 400 different colors for us to choose from. And we can purchase these in opaques, transparents, and then different sizes. Anything from a solid bar of colored glass, these are right here. Solid bar of blue glass. And then the companies that make it, they crush it up into different sizes, all the way down into a fine powder. And the different sizes gives you a different look, a different decoration. So the larger the spots and the dots in the jars, the larger the spots and the dots on the piece. Carved in earlier on, and then he's going to tap the steel pipe with the tweezers, and it works! Now we can work on the top. It's all rushed over. He's heating the whole thing right now. That heat he's taking is called a flash. Basically a maintenance heat. You can't let anything ever get too cold. when you stay out of the fire for too long, something drops below 800 Fahrenheit, you put it back into the fire, it will explode. And we learned that by exploding things. I've exploded many things. So, pull on it, stretch it, get the glass out right there. And then you can just jump into these scissors and just cut right through glass. Oh my goodness, that went. Wind it around. When you have enough, you just pull back and it comes right off. Like that. Now we have a nice detail in red right at the top there. Now I get to show all of you how stretchy glass is. So I can grab it with these tweezers and just pull it and stretch. And hot glass sticks to other hot glass. And now this area down here, that's holding its shape. And that's because it's cold. Everybody here can touch this. You're not allowed to see. Open that, put the jacks on the inside, kind of open it up a little bit. Stretch that wider. And all those flames, that's the beeswax. Little pyrotechnics for you all. It's beautiful. I love it. What do you guys think?
Alright, that was a fun time. I really enjoyed looking at the glass art and learning more about it, learning more about Chihuly and the theater and why he decided to do the series that he did. Highly recommend this. Definitely do the Space Needle and the Chihuly Glass and Garden, so that way you're doing both of them right back to back at the same time. So yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and I was also really happy to just be able to be let in there, even though it wasn't on the exact day that I had mine. Let's see, so I don't get run over. Even though it wasn't on the exact day of my ticket for the Space Needle. But if that ever happens to you, just give it a try. Just tell them the situation. Maybe or maybe not, they'll let you in. I feel like I just kind of lucked out this time around because, you know, it's a Saturday. It's a bit busier than during the middle of the week, so they were cool. But definitely be sure to get there before 5 o'clock because apparently the 6 o'clock close time is not actually their close time. So now I'm just walking back to like the downtown area, trying to get like something to eat. I don't know, because from the rain earlier, my shoes are kind of soaked through. I can feel it in my socks and in my shoes, so I really don't want to walk around too much or for too far with like wet shoes and socks. So I'm gonna walk back to the downtown area, maybe to a Cheesecake Factory, get some lunch and just chill there for a couple of hours, trying to find like areas, you know, that I can sit in or do that would take up a couple of hours at least, so that way I can just go to the airport in like about 6 hours, around 6:30, and I'm trying to leave and take public transit, the light link rail, to the airport. We'll see how that goes. I don't know, but that is my plan at the moment, and just enjoying my last views of Seattle before I have to leave today. Hopefully you can hear me okay, but I just wanted to touch on like the homeless problem here in Seattle. You know, because you see people here who are homeless, who are under the influence of something, or have, you know, severe mental health, you know, problems to the point where it just kind of makes them, you know, homeless and whatnot. And just because like I'm here traveling and vlogging and whatnot doesn't mean that I am. Yeah, and just because I'm here like vlogging and whatnot, having a good time, doesn't mean I'm like oblivious or blind to the fact that this is an issue, not only just in Seattle but just in a lot of cities across America as well. So not saying everything is hunky-dory and whatnot, but if you do come here, or just any city that really has a problem, if you're not comfortable staying like the downtown area or just areas that have a lot of them, kind of like downtown Seattle, I just recommend staying on the outskirts, out of the downtown area, or just the major city parts. That way, you know, you're not encountering nearly as much of them. However, even on these lovely, quiet areas, you will see one or two here and there. You know, it's just kind of hard to avoid them altogether, but for the most part, they just kind of like keep to themselves, honestly. Besides the one, like, random one that yells at you or whatever. They just kind of are in their own little delusions, doing their own thing, honestly. Cute little park. No idea what this is, but it's cute. I think this is the way back downtown. Pretty sure.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow. And the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day, and it will set you free. There's a new day to get you through your struggles.